Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Fix Nation. It got a new Highback for 2025. I rode this binding at Copper Mountain on a sunny bluebird day with warmer temps. You had perfect corduroy, little chop and chunder, you know, hot pow if you knew where to find it. Basically just a typical Colorado day, and I rode it with my Ride Shadow Band snowboard and my K2 Thraxis boots. Like other fixed bindings, there's not a crazy amount of adjustability. With the toe strap, you have a push pin, so you can push it down, slide it back, pull it back up, or push it down, slide it forward, and pull it up to help center it on the boot. With the heel and toe strap, you do have that flip tab right there, so you pop it open, slide it up, slide it down to lock it in to center it over the boot. There is a forward lean adjustment on the Highback. You can adjust this on the fly by flipping it down, slide it up, slide it down. And then finally, you have Fix's Highback rotation. If that's your thing, you just basically stick a flathead screwdriver in there, pop it out, and just rotate the Highback where you need to. That's it for adjustability on these things. With the heel strap, it is Fix's injection molded strap. This reduces all excess material, meaning that you should not get hot spots or pinch points, and it should not stretch over time. What it will do is cradle around the instep and really lock you down, but your boot is going to provide all that padding. It is not the stiffest strap out there, but it is still slightly responsive. With the toe strap, it's the same material. This will fit a more pointy-toed boot over the toe than it would a very boxy one. It does stretch a little bit when you really crank it down, and if you want to rock it over the top like TC, you can, but don't rock it over the top like Sylvester Stallone. Right out of the box, these were a little sticky. They break in relatively fast. They climb well. They actually move along with relative ease. That one finger quick release on the toe and the heel works. It never seems to slip or keep you locked in. I didn't have any problems with these, and that's all you can ask from a ratchet. All right, why don't you click like, you know you want to. Why don't you subscribe, click the bell so you're not missing any notifications, because, you know, that's important to you too. You know you want to do it, so do it. As this is a more freestyle focused binding, it is not the stiffest Highback. It does not have any excess padding in there, but it is a little bit wider and you can drive into it, so it is responsive. The forward lean adjustment works exactly how you want. You flip it down, you can slide it up or down to give you more or less forward lean, then you'll flip it back up and lock it. One thing to note though is with the Highback rotation, it's not the tightest fit, so there's a little bit of wiggle room in there. You might notice that. I wouldn't worry about it. I didn't have any issues with it. I think over time that's still gonna be locked down. You're not gonna have to worry about it. But like I said, it's a little bit of a softer Highback. It's got some lateral give to it. This does have a bigger base plate to it, and it does have a bigger disc spot, so that means it's going to have a more rigid response underfoot. It's not the stiffest binding I've ridden out there. It comes in somewhere above a beginner, but like just a hair below a middle of the road. But it has lateral flex from the straps. So you actually get that lateral play to be able to press and just sort of butter around, do what you need. It doesn't have a lot of lateral drive to it. Overall, not the stiffest binding, but the response is, overall not the stiffest binding, but does have the response that you need in there. When you drive back into the Highback, you can feel that pressure going down into the heel cup and really getting it up on edge. And when you go forward through the straps, there is give in there, but it's a quicker response than if it was the stitched strap that some of the fixed bindings have. So you notice right away that you get a little bit more power. This binding's damp to a point, which is nice. It kind of just absorbs that kinetic energy. You don't really get a ton of foot fatigue. You don't feel that chatter just resonating under the balls of your feet, unless you get into something super crusty and you're pointing it as hard as you can. Then you're gonna feel it. It's nice for a freestyle binding. Like if you come down hard, 9 times out of 10, not gonna feel it. But every now and then you're like, whoa, that was a little body jarring. I did feel it. The foot pad does a good job of damping. You don't have to worry about it. It just absorbs that chatter. Is it the most gnarly damp binding out there? No. Is it the most lively binding out there? No, it's kind of in that middle ground where you want it to be for a freestyle focused binding. Rider in mind, the freestyle focused guide that's gonna do a little bit of everything. Hey, if you like what we're doing over here and you wanna support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. I dug this binding. It's not the most lively binding, it's not the most damp binding, and it's very meat and potatoes with its adjustability, but it's a binding you can just mount up and go ride and not expect all the bells and whistles. Did a good job for the chatter I was getting during that day. If I did get into some really rutted out terrain, it let me know that it couldn't handle it fully, but it wasn't fatiguing my foot to the point that I was like, oh, this is gonna kill me. Overall, for the price, I think it's solid. I really do. Comparable bindings. The K2 Bond, the Bent Metal Axtion, the Rome Trace. This has been my review of the Fix Nation. Did you like it? Good. Why don't you go check out one of the comparable bindings, because I'm sure we have a video for it on this channel, because dear God, do we have a video for like everything.